أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته A7365 Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, would you like to start off with Dawood and Tasmiyah and recite this dua for me, please?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربي علمني مهو خير عندك.
Okay, and the translation?
O my Lord, teach me what is best for me in your knowledge.
Taskira, perfect. Okay, do you know what this is over here?
Ein.
An ayn, and you give an R sound because this is called a fatha, yeah? So when you were reading it, you accidentally read it as illimni. Make sure that you give it, you get the sound out of the ayn from the bottom of your throat, and that you give it an R sound, okay? So try saying it after me. Allimni.
علمني.
Perfect. And same goes for this letter as well. You have a fatha, and we make sure that we give an R sound. So ma. Perfect. And again, we have ayn. What did we say about ayn before? How do we say the sound?
Ein. So
Yeah, from the bottom of your throat, yeah?
Yeah.
So, daka.
Daka.
And if you want to stop, you can just say dak. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that was nicely recited. Jazakumullah for your time.
Barakallah.
Take care then. Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz. Okay, so with the opening dua being recited, we're going to start off with Surah Ad-Duha. And one thing I do want to remind you all is that when you're reciting the surah, make sure that you apply all the rules that you have learned so far. So making sure that you say your thick and thin letters properly. Make sure that you are joining the letters properly. Make sure that when you have a shadda here, how do we say the shadda? Do we put more pressure, put more emphasis on it, and so on and so forth. So, Curse, may I please have another student to recite the surah for me, please?
Yes, we can have N8403.
N8403, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah for asking. Okay, would you like to start with Dawood and Tasmiyah and start reciting the surah for me, please?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى.
Okay, nicely recited. I can really see that you are trying to say your thick letters properly, and I've seen that today, so that's great. That was nicely recited. There's just a few things I want to point out. What is this over here?
Is it a dabba?
Yeah, it's a dhamma. You have a blocked nose as well. That's why it's a bit harder for you to say. But don't worry, hope you get better. So you have a dhamma here, and with fatha, we give an R sound. With dhamma, we give an U sound. And how long do we prolong it for?
Is it 2 seconds?
So with dhamma, it's just 1 second, yeah? So you will prolong it just for 1 second. So it's going to be very short and quick. Wadduha. Say it.
Wadduha.
Perfect. So now you could see that was just prolonged for 1 second. And you must have noticed that I put more pressure on the dot. Why did I do that?
Is it because there's a shadda on it?
Perfect. It has a shadda on it, so therefore we put pressure on that letter, yeah? Talking about this here, you accidentally join these two letters together, but you just need to note you only join letters together if you either have a shadda or you have a jazm, like here, yeah? As we can see here, we have a vertical fatha. We don't have a shadda, and we don't have a jazm or a sukoon, and therefore we make sure that we don't join the sin and the jim together. So it's just going to be saja.
Saja.
Perfect. And you know, because even though we are pausing at the end, we know that even if we've come towards an end of the verse, we can see that it has a vertical fatha on it, and therefore we will prolong it a bit when we stop here. We will not say sajid, because that's wrong, because we know it has a vertical fatha on it. If it has a vertical fatha on it, we say saja and prolong it for a bit, yeah?
Yeah.
The same mistake was made over here, because I think, yeah, now I remember, you accidentally recited this for more than 1 second, which is fine. A lot of us can make this mistake. It happens a lot if you don't know the surah and you've not memorized it off by heart sometimes, because a lot of the surahs that we read, sometimes people know it off by heart, and so they already know the rules that they're going to apply to it. But it's fine if you don't know a surah, because sometimes we want to keep the flow steady, and just to keep the flow steady, we start elongating letters that we are not allowed to elongate, yeah? So it's fine, you don't need to worry about that. We just need to practice it a bit more, yeah? So ma wadda'aka.
Ma wadda'aka.
Perfect, that was beautifully recited. Here, do you know what letter this is?
Is it an alif?
It's an alif, perfect. And you cannot give it an ayn sound. You know, when we give an ayn sound, we get the sound out from the bottom of our throat. But with the alif, it's very different. You do not get the sound out from the bottom of your throat. So, وَلَلْآخِرَةُ.
وَلَلْآخِرَةُ.
Perfect. Same over here. You have a shadda, so we know that we put more emphasis on it. And we only prolong it for how long?
1 second.
1 second, perfect. And the same with the kaf as well. So khayrul laka.
Khayrul laka.
Perfect. That was a beautiful recitation. Jazakillah for your time. Jazakillah. Take care then. Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz.
Okay, co-host, may I please have another
The
student?
next student is going to be A7388.
A7388. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
How are you today? A7388. Assalamu alaikum.
He mute himself.
Okay, I think we have lost the student.
He mute himself, I think. Okay, I'll give you another one. A7396.
A7396. Assalamu alaikum. A7396. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, may I please have another student?
We can have N8376.
N8376. Assalamu alaikum. N8376. Assalamu alaikum. Okay.
The voices.
Yeah, that's fine. Can I have another
Try
student?
N8365.
N8365. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
How are you today?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah.
Okay, that's great, alhamdulillah. Okay, would you like to start off with Dawood and Tasmiyah and start reciting from here for me, please?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولسوف يؤتيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فأهدى
Okay.
ووجد
That was nicely recited. Sorry to put you off there. That was nicely recited. Yeah, it was a beautiful recitation. I can see that you are very trying hard to give the lafuz, and you did that. There wasn't a lot I can say, but just a few things. This is a scene, yeah? And we give it a sort of a snake sound when we say it, right? When you said it, you gave it a tha sound, which was more of, I don't know if there is an example of a tha here in the surah, but that's a different letter. So when you say this, make sure that you give it sort of a snake sound, yeah? Try and saying it. Wala sawfa.
ولسوف.
Perfect. And here, you can see that this is a thick letter. This is a ta, right? And here you have a ta. These are two different letters. This one is a thick letter, whereas this one is a thin letter. So when you say it, don't try and give it a thick sound. Don't say ta, say ta. Fatarda.
فترضى.
And this here is not a za or a dha, it's a dod, okay? It has a very different sound, but again, these might sound, these letters, a lot of the times people like to say it the wrong way. For example, this is a dod, some people say zor, but we need to understand that a zor is a totally different letter. So we need to show that we know the difference between what each letter sounds like. So make sure that you give it a dod sound. Fatarda.
فترضى.
Okay, so like a thick dal sound you should give here. Over here, you were meant to do nun ikhfa. So that's when you give a nasal sound, yeah, to the letter. You give it a nasal sound. That means you say it from your nose. For example, you know that there is a fa afterwards, right? And do you know the 6 letters that don't allow us to give the nasal sound?
I think it's Alif,
Yeah.
Hamza, Alif, Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ghain, and Kha.
Perfect. You know them. That's amazing. So is fa amongst those letters? Is it part of those letters?
No.
No. And therefore we give meme a nasal sound. So yatima fa'aba.
Yatima wa fa'awa.
Perfect. And again we have a dod. Remember, it has a different sound, dod. When you were first reading it, you didn't prolong it for too long, but when you started reading it again, you prolonged it for the correct amount of time. We know this is a mud sign here, and we will prolong it for a good 3 to 6 seconds. But one thing I do want to point out is that when you're prolonging it, when you join it to the lam, you still need to put emphasis and put pressure on the lam. So it should sound something like وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. Okay, try saying that.
ووجدك ضالا فهدى.
Perfect. So this is a da. So say da.
Da.
Perfect. So yeah, that was a nice recitation. Just try and go over these dod. Okay, how do we say it? Dod is a thick dal sound, yeah? So that was a nice recitation. Jazakallah for your time. Take care then. Allah Hafiz.
Okay, I'm going to call the first Atfal who did the starting dua for
Yeah.
Tilawat as well. A7365.
A7365. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you again?
I'm fine, thank you.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, would you like to start off with Dawood and Tasmiyah and recite from here for me, please?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والضحى
Sorry to disturb you. Could you start off from here for me, please?
okay. ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك تحدث.
Perfect. That was nicely recited. I could see that you elongated this properly and you gave the ayn sound properly. So overall, it was a very good recitation. But just 4 things I want to point out. As I was talking to the previous student, we will give this a nasal sound. Do you know why?
Because it has does it have a silent alif in front of it?
So the reason why it's not a bad try. It's actually a good try. It was a good answer that you gave. But the next letter, because alif is joined to the lam, right? So the next letter that we need to look at is fa. And the previous student said that there are 6 letters that don't allow us to give the nasal sound. And the 6 letters are alif, hamza, ha, kha, ayn, and ghain. And is fa amongst those letters? Is a part of those letters?
No.
No. So therefore we give it a nasal sound. So it should sound something like عائلا فأغنى. Say it.
عائلا فأغنى.
Beautiful. But one thing you do need to make sure is that when you say this ayn, you need to give it a thick sound. Well, it's not a thick letter, but you need to give it a sound from the bottom of your throat, yeah? So try saying it. Perfect. And same here, we have an alif joined to the lam, and therefore we will prolong it for how long?
Is it 2 seconds?
2 seconds. 2 seconds. Perfect. Yeah, you said 2 seconds before, don't worry. And this here is a ra. Is it going to be a thick ra or a thin ra?
Is it going to be a thick ra?
Yeah. So it's going to be a thick ra because it has a fatha on top, yeah? There are 2 signs, fatha and dhamma, that allow us to give a thick sound to the ra. But if the ra has got a kasra underneath, then it means that I need to give it a thin sound. But in this case, there's a fatha on top of the ra, so we make sure that we give it a thick sound. So, بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ. Say after me. بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ.
في أمة ربك.
بِنِعْمَةِ.
في أمة بنعمة
رَبِّكَ.
ربك.
Perfect. And this is a fa. When you said it, you gave it a ta sound, yes? So don't mistake the fa with the ta. Just make sure that if it has 1 dot, then it's a fa. If it has 2 dots, in this shape, then it's going to be a qaf. But a ta like this, if it has 2 dots, then it's going to be a ta, yeah?
Yeah.
So that was a nice recitation. Jazakumullah for your time.
Jazakallah.
Jazakumullah. Take care then. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Okay, co-host, may I please have another student to the mic?
Next student is going to be N8376.
N8376. Assalamu alaikum. N8376. Assalamu alaikum. So before I ask the next student to be called on the mic, can I just say, can everyone stop using the raise hand facility? Don't raise your hand, please, because it messes up the whole system and how we need to pick students to the mic. So make sure that you do not use the raise hand facility unless I have asked you to do so. Jazakallah. Okay, co-host, may I please have another student to the mic?
N8365.
N8365. Assalamu alaikum. N8365. 65. Assalamu alaikum.
I can't unmute her.
Okay. Assalamu
Alaikum
alaikum.
salam.
How are you today?
Miss, I just had a go.
Oh, you just had to go. All right. Jazakallah for being honest. We'll just call another student. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
A7,
Nafis.
7392.
Sorry, what was that, co-host?
We're going to have A7392.
A7392. Assalamu alaikum. A7392. Assalamu alaikum. Okay. May I please have another student on the mic?
Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, wa alaikum salam. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Could you make sure that if there is any other device placed next to your phone that you distance it from it? Okay, so
Okay,
put it to the side because right now I can hear a lot of echo.
okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I've done it.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. There's no more echo there. All right, great. Would you like to start off with Dawood and Tasmiyah and start reciting the surah for me, please?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدعو يتيم ولا يحض على المسكين.
Okay, nice recitation. There's a few things I want to say. You can see that this is a Hamza with a Fatah on top, yeah?
Yeah.
You can see that there is a Ya after that. When you join a letter with
Do I make like a? Do
yeah,
I join them together, kind of?
yeah, you join them together, but rather than saying E, you need to say A. Okay? Try
Okay.
saying it Ara A.
Ara'aita.
Perfect. And why do we do that? Because if there is a Fatha and the next letter you're joining to is a Ya, then you give it an A sound automatically, yeah?
Okay.
This letter here is a The. And I was discussing with the previous student as well that this is a Dod, so we need to be able to make sure that we can show the difference between the two letters, yeah? So this
Yeah.
is a The, whereas this is a Dod. So try and say this for me. أرأيت الذي.
أرأيت الذي.
Perfect. And do you know what sign this is here?
Is it a shadda?
Perfect. So that's a shadda. So you put more emphasis on that letter or put more pressure on that letter. So يكذب.
يكذب.
Perfect. And same over here, you have a shadda, you join it together, put more emphasis. كلا.
كلا.
But you need to make sure that you only prolong it for 1 second. And here we prolong it for 1 second because it's just got a fatha on it. And when you join the do with the ayn, you put more emphasis on it as well. So du'ul.
du'ul.
Perfect. As I said, this is a thick letter. So yahuddu.
يحد.
Perfect. We're putting more pressure on it just because there's a tashdid there or a shadda there. And this is a ta, yeah? It's a thick letter, so we give it like a circular round mouth when we say it. So ta. Perfect. And say this
طاء.
perfect. Yeah, amazing. Perfect. So that was nicely recited. Just try and go through your shadda. Yeah? Try and practice your shadda a bit more, yeah?
Okay,
That's
thank
perfect. That was nicely recited. Jazakumullah for your time.
you. جزاك الله.
Take care then. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Okay, co-host, may I please have another student to the mic?
A7394.
A7394, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam.
How are you today?
Good.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, would you like to start off with Dawood and Tasmiyah and recite from here for me, please?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون.
Okay, that was a very nice recitation. Just a few things I would like to point out. So you have a noon here. Do you think we will have to hide the noon and give it a nasal sound, or would we not do that?
You would give it a nasal sound.
Perfect. Do you know why?
No.
All right, that's fine. So the reason why we give it a nasal sound is because we know that there are 6 letters that we need to look at when we have to interpret whether it's going to be a nasal sound or not. So let me just take you quickly to this here. So you can see that when do we give a light nasal sound? You can see if there is a noon sakin, a noon bearing a sukoon, or there is a tanveen, so something, a sign that looks like this. You need to make sure that you look at the next letter. Is it a mushaddad? So is it a letter with a shadda on top? Is it a ba? Is it one of these 6 letters, alif, hamza, ha, kha, ayn, and ghain? If not, then you give it a 2-second nasal sound. So rather than saying fa-in zalaltum, you will say fa-in zalaltum. Do you see the difference?
Okay.
So the same goes for here as well. You know that sad is not part of those 6 letters that we just looked at right now. So you give it a nasal sound. As-salah.
Salah.
Perfect. And you elongated this ra perfectly. You made sure that you gave it at least 3 to 6 seconds, which I could hear that. But when you say this, you need to make sure that you give it sort of a round mouth or circular mouth when you say it, because it's a thick letter. So rather than saying ra, you need to say ra. Try saying that.
Ra.
Perfect. So yeah, that's it. That was a nice recitation. Jazakumullah for your time.
Jazakallah.
Take care then. Allah Hafiz.
Allah.
Okay, so as I said at the start, we will be going through Surah Al-Ala as our main surah. So one thing I would like to draw particular attention towards is that you guys might already be aware of it because you guys have been studying the surah or going through it, reciting the surah for the past week. But we should all be aware by now that the first verse of this whole chapter, when you reach to the end of the verse, so when you say Sabbih Hisma Rabbikal A'la, you stop at the end of the verse. We have a response that we say after it, and that's Subhana Rabbi Yal Ala. Okay, so you just need to learn this response. So today, when I call a student to the mic and she recites this, he or she recites this, we will make sure that the person that's reciting it says Subhana Rabbiyal Ala, and all the people, I know you guys are all unmuted, but make sure that you say it as well, or the other students in the class. Okay, so co-host, may I please have another student to the mic?
Next is going to be N8396.
N8396.
Always press it and lose. Yellow, green.
N8396.
Really shows the
Red.
Assalamu alaikum.
Purple.
Walaikum salam. How are you today?
Good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Okay, would you like to start off with Dawood and Tasmiyah and recite the surah for me, please?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى.
Okay, sorry to stop you. As I said right now, that when you reach the end of this first verse, there is a response that we say. Can you recite this with me, please?
سبحان رب الأعلى.
So, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, okay? Make sure that you say this at the end of that verse because it's very important, yeah?
Okay.
Okay? Now, you may carry on.
والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى.
Okay, that was a nice recitation, Jazakallah. That's nicely recited. Just one or two things I want to point out. You can see that this is an ayn, yeah?
Yep.
And how do we give an ayn sound? Perfect. So it's coming from the bottom of your throat, okay? So don't mistake the ayn for an alif because these are two different letters. You cannot give this an ah sound. You need to give it an ah, like an ayn, a proper thick sound. It's not a thick letter, but we still give it a thick sound, yeah?
Okay.
So a'la.
أعلى.
Perfect. And what sign is this over here?
فتى.
A fatha. And how long do we prolong it for?
1 second.
1 second. Perfect. So when you were reading it, you prolonged it for more than a second, which again, as I said to one of my first few students, that it's fine to make that mistake, but just next time when you're reading, be a bit more cautious about it, yeah? Fahada.
فهدى.
Perfect. If you look at this over here, you have a ya, and yes, I know we're meant to be joining the dal with the ya. We are joining it technically, but we're going to join it in a different way because the letter here has got a kasra, yeah, as you can see, and this is a ya. And whenever you see a ya with a jazm, and you know that it has a letter before that with a kasra underneath, then you prolong it for a good 2 seconds. But as we can see, there is a mad saghir over here, and whenever a mad saghir comes, we prolong for 3 to 5 or 3 to 6 seconds. Therefore, we will prolong the the. We will not prolong the ya, we will prolong the because the is what's joining to the ya. So what walladhi, say it.
والذي.
Perfect. And the same here, you have an ayn. Okay, can I please, sorry to disturb you. A7369, you are asking me if I can give you my remote control, but I can't because right now I'm teaching. So please make sure you do not use that again because that's the second time it's popped up. So do not mess about with your screen. Make sure that you pay attention towards the lesson, okay? Otherwise, you will be put into the waiting room. All right, sorry. Okay. Co-host?
Yes.
A7403 has just requested remote control. Could you please put him into the waiting room?
Sorry. Can you give me the number, please? A7?
403.
Okay. Okay, you can have next student. You can try again because he couldn't unmute himself. A796.
Yeah, that's fine. But let me just quickly do the student, yeah?
Okay.
Jazakallah though. So we give the sound from the bottom of our throat, yeah?
Okay.
And so you give it a sound of mar'a.
مرأة.
Perfect. And I don't know what mistake was made here. Quite necessary. I don't know what was done here, but it's fine. Let's just, oh yeah, you accidentally give it a tha sound. This here is a tha, okay? And this is a ghain. So you give it a ru sound because there's a dhamma. Ghutha.
غفاء.
Perfect. And one mistake you made here is that you saw a tanveen and you accidentally gave it a nasal sound. But you know that alif here is amongst those 6 letters that we looked at, alif, hamza, ha, kha, ain, ghain, and alif is part of those letters, so we make sure that we give the letter no nasal sound and that we read it fully and completely, yeah? So
Okay.
yeah, that's it. So you, rather than saying al-ahwa, you will say an-ahwa.
An-ahwa.
Perfect. So that was a beautiful recitation. Jazakallah for your time.
Jazakallah.
Jazakallah.
Allah
Take care
Hafiz.
then. Allah Hafiz. Okay, co-host, may I please have another student?
Yes. Can we try again, just in case he can unmute himself? A7396.
A7396. Assalamu alaikum. A7396. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, he's keep doing himself mute.
Okay.
I'll give you another student. N8375.
N8375. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you today?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Okay, would you like to start off with our word and tasmiyah and start reciting from here for me, please?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى.
Okay, Jazakallah for your time. Can I just say that was an amazing recitation, because I have literally gone through how many lines? 1, 2, 3 lines with you, and I couldn't pull out a single mistake. That shows me that you have been going through this in your own time. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's perfect. And that's for all the other students, this is what happens if you practice a lot, that you start getting the hang of that surah, and then it's less likely that you will make a mistake. But again, you guys are all beginners, you guys are all learners, so it's even fine if you make a mistake, but try and practice as much as you can. So yeah, I don't know what to comment on, because quite frankly, that was a beautiful recitation.
Jazakallah.
But just keep going, keep it up, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, take care then. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Okay, co-host, may I please have another student?
Next student is going to be A7364.
A7364. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Okay, would you like to start off with Dawood and Tasmiyah and start reciting from here for me, please?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ثم لا يموت فيها ولا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا.
Okay, that was a very nice recitation. Jazakallah for your time. I just want to talk you through a few things that I thought you can improve on. But overall, you don't need to worry. It was a very good recitation. Just to say, this is a tha, and we can't give it a seen sound, okay? So you need to know this here is a seen, and we give it a snake sound. Here, this is a tha, and we give it a very different sound, okay? So try saying it for me. Thumma. Perfect. And here, you can see there is a lam, but we have an alif sort of attached with it, yeah? So how long will we prolong it for?
2 seconds.
2 seconds, perfect. So make sure that when you say this, whenever you come across whenever you come across a lam with an alif attached to it, then you need to prolong it for 2 seconds. So repeat after me. Thumma la.
ثم لا.
Perfect. You made sure that you elongated the mu, which was amazing. Just moving on, again, we've come across a lam with an alif attached to it. So how long do we prolong it for?
2 seconds.
2 seconds, perfect. And here you have a ha, okay? Try saying it for me. Ha.
ها.
Right, perfect. So a ha is not a thick letter, but we do give it a sound from the bottom of our throat. Just like with the ayn, we give it a thick sound, but it's not a thick letter. It just comes from the bottom of our throat. That's just the way we say the letter. And the same applies for the ha as well, okay? So Yahya.
يحيى.
Perfect. If you look at this, you have a dal. Is dal one of our kalkala letters?
No.
No?
Yes, sorry.
Yes. Okay, perfect. It's fine. So dal is one of our kalkala letters. Qaf, ta, ba, jim, and dal. So whenever we come across these letters, we give it a slight jerking sound or like a bouncing sound. So it should sound something like qad. Say it for me.
قدر.
Perfect. How will we say this letter here?
ها.
Say it again.
ها.
Perfect. You need to get that sound up from the bottom of your throat. Ha.
ها.
Perfect. Here we've come across a noon sakin, okay? And we know, as we looked at the revision slide before, that whenever we come across a noon sakin, we look at the next letter. What is the next letter? It's a ta. Perfect. And do you know the 6 letters that don't allow us to give a nasal sound? Do you know the 6 letters?
I can't remember really.
Okay, that's fine. Don't worry. They are a bit hard to memorize. Just keep going through them over and over again. So the 6 letters are alif, hamza, ha, kha, ain, and ghain. Yeah?
Okay.
And you need to make sure that whenever you come across a noon sakin or a tanveen, that the next letter cannot be a mushaddad, it can't be a ba, and it can't be these 6 letters, okay? Because that's when you give the nasal sound. So it should sound something like Ma tazakka.
ما تذكر.
Perfect. And here, this letter, as I discussed with other students as well, we give it a the sound. It's very different. You have a za, which I don't know if I can draw it, but which looks something like this. Yeah, that's a za, and you give it like a zip sound. Yes, like just like a za. And then you have a zo, which looks something like this, right?
Yeah.
And then you have a dot, which I should be able to find in here, but I can't find it, so it's fine. A dot looks something like this, yeah?
Yeah.
You need to be able to know the difference between this, 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 and this, yeah? You have a za, a dha. Do you see the difference? A za and a dha.
Yes.
And then you have a zo, which is much of a thicker sound. It's a thick letter, right?
Yeah.
And then we have a dod, which is also a thick letter. So one thing for all of the students as well is to try and learn the difference between a za, a dod, a za, and a dha. Yeah? So try saying it after me. وَذَكَرَ.
وذكرس
So try saying again. وَذَ.
وذ
Perfect. Try and say it with your tip of the tongue. The, you need to place it below your top teeth, if that made sense. So the tip of your tongue placed I can't even explain it. The tip of your tongue placed underneath your top teeth. So the, in between your upper and your bottom teeth. Say that.
the
Perfect. So now you got the sound out. You make sure that the tip of our tongue comes in between our top teeth and our bottom teeth, right?
okay.
This is a sword, and we give it a thick sound because it's a
Sick letter.
thick letter. Perfect. So sola.
Solar.
Perfect. Don't try and give this a thick sound because that's just in Allah's name we give that thick lam sound, yeah?
Yeah.
And I've forgotten what you did here, but just for the sake of it, let's just imagine that you didn't join this together. Just try and say the dunya.
The dunya.
Perfect. So yeah, overall it was a nice recitation. It was beautifully recited. And yeah, Jazakallah for your time. Take care then. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, thanks for teaching me.
Oh, Jazakallah khair. My pleasure.
Okay. Next student is going to be A7369.
A7369. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you today? Assalamu alaikum.
I think he
Okay, we seem to lose
himself
a
again.
student. Could we have another student, please?
Okay, we can have N8382.
N8382. Assalamu alaikum.
Bed.
N8362.
It's N8382.
Oh, N8382. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah for asking. Okay, would you like to start with Dawood and Tasmiyah and recite from here for me, please?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والآخرة خير وأبقى. إن هذا لفي صحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى.
Okay, that was a nice recitation, nicely recited. Just one or two things I want to say. This here, if the letter looks like a ha but has got a dot on it, like here we can see there is a dot, we give it a kha sound, okay? So akhiratu.
آخرة.
Yeah, perfect. And here that same mistake was made where you gave this a kha sound, whereas you were meant to give it a ha sound, okay? It's fine. Sometimes you can get confused between the two letters because it's literally just a dot. You know, this one has got a dot and this one doesn't, and it's hard to sometimes tell the difference. But you don't need to worry. It'll just come with practice, okay? So try and saying it for me. Hu.
Who?
Perfect. And is ba one of our kalkala letters?
No.
No?
I think it is. It is.
Yes, it is. Okay. So ba is one of our kalkala letters, and therefore we give it a slight jerking or bouncing sound when we say it, yeah? So wa abqa.
وأبقى.
Perfect. With this ha, you can see there is a vertical fatha. How long will prolong this ha for?
2 seconds.
2 seconds. Perfect. So when you are reading it, make sure that you give it a 2-second sound. Here we have a sword with what letter is what sign is this?
Shadda.
Perfect. It's a shadda. And we know whenever we come across a shadda, we put pressure or more emphasis on that letter, yeah?
Yeah.
So La fi suhufil.
La fi suhufil.
Perfect. Right now, everyone can hear clearly that you put more emphasis on the sword. Yeah. Whenever you come across a shadda, always put more emphasis on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the same thing is for both of these things at the end. We can see that there is a vowel with a jazm on it or a sukoon. Wow is also one of our haruf al-madda letters, and so we do prolong it, but we can see that if we have a dhamma before that, then we prolong it for 2 seconds. Yeah. So ula,
Ula.
and the same thing here. Wa Musa.
Wa Musa.
Perfect. That was nicely recited. So jazakumullah for your time.
Jazakallah.
Jazakumullah. Take care then. Allah Hafiz. Okay, co-host.
Yes. Next
Okay,
topic.
so I'll call a student in 5 minutes. Let me just go through the homework quickly.
Okay.
So what's your homework? So your homework is to go at home. Well, you are at home already. I don't know why I said that, but just in your free time, go through Surah Ala again. We alhamdulillah managed to complete Surah Ala today, but don't forget the response. Here it says here, remember the response at the end of verse 2, which is here, Subhana Rabbi Yal Ala. Okay, so don't forget the response. Make sure you apply all the rules. I generally see a lot of students are getting much better with their recitations. Those who think that they are lacking in reciting the surah without any mistakes, that's not an issue. Don't worry about that. You just need to practice, and practice, and you will literally, you don't even worry, you will get there. Okay, so just apply all the rules, your thick and thin letters, your noon sakin rule, whether you give it a nasal sound or not, and just generally your thick and thin letters, everything combined, how long you will prolong a letter for, 2 seconds, 1 second, is it 3 to 5 or 3 to 6 seconds? So it's not something very hard. There are a lot of rules to think about, but you will get there if you will get there if you if you practice it over and over again. Remember, it is vital for improvement that you practice, because it gets easier, right? And the timing is extremely important, and your pronunciation is extremely important as well. So just before we finish the class today, I would like to call a student to the mic for the end dua.
Okay, it's N8367, and she want to ask a question as well.
Yeah, sure. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah, I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Let's start off with the question first. What's the question?
So in the surah that we were looking at, Surah Al-Ala.
Yeah. Let me just try and get the surah out, sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, in verse 19.
Yes, this one here.
Wait, sorry, I think I've lost that place now.
That's fine, don't worry.
Oh, the one above it. Sorry, the one above it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, 17.
So when it ends with dunya,
yeah,
do you make a nasal sound on the noon? Because I thought with the noon sakin you make a nasal sound.
Okay, that is a very good question. So you don't give it a nasal sound necessarily. As far as I remember, as far as I've been taught about it, I don't think you give a nasal sound, because you are pausing at the end of the verse towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah. But I will research more into that, and then if I have you again next Thursday, I will try and explain to the student. Okay, I will make a note about why we do that. Yeah.
Okay, because I thought it would be dunya.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean, and it's a very good question. So I will go more into that. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think you need to give it a nasal sound, because you're coming towards an end of a verse and you're doing waqf there anyways. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, a very good question. Yeah?
And for the 3 letters on the side as well, what's the difference between the pronunciations?
Okay, so with this one, you got a za sound. So you give it like, the way we say zip.
Yeah.
Z. That's literally how we say it. Try saying it, za.
Za.
Perfect. With here, we have a the.
The.
Perfect. So do you see this is a za and a the, right?
Got
If
it.
it's a dal with a dot, then that's how you say it. Here, we give it a thick the sound, so zo.
Zo.
Perfect. So you literally take the za here and give it a thick sound, zo.
Zo.
And that's also one of our thick letters.
Yep.
And here, this is also one of our thick letters, do.
Do.
So this
Okay, I
one
get
sounds very different. It may look similar, but it sounds very different because you give it a thick dal sound, yeah?
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's a nice question.
Understand now.
That's great. Jazakumullah. Okay, would you like to do the end dua for me, please?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم ارحمني بالقرآن العظيم واجعله لي إماما ونورا وهدى ورحمة.
Okay, beautiful. Would you like to go for the translation as well, please?
O Allah, have mercy on me through the great Quran, and make it for me the leader, the light, the guidance, and the mercy.
Beautifully recited. Jazakumullah for your time and some amazing questions you've asked today.
Jazakallah.
Take
Thank
care
you.
then. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Okay, so that's about it for today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.